Morning guys, where'd my coffee go? All right, so I am gonna show you one of the benefits of having a rooftop tent. All right, so if you guys have gone camping before and you've set up a tent, if you do it in the dark, it's horrible. Even if you know what you're doing, if you do it in the dark, it's hard, okay? Even with flashlights, there are little pieces sometimes, it becomes a pain. So it is just after sunrise, I guess. Well, sunrise is in about 15 minutes. You can see it coming over the horizon. I was hoping to do this when it was darker, but it's pretty loud behind me. And I'm gonna show you one of the advantages of having a rooftop tent versus a tent that you're gonna set up on the ground.
The first thing you might notice is I've climbed up on my car quite a lot, and not a lot of people are okay with that. And then I have to set up that ladder, make sure it is good and set because it is a supporting factor, and there I am setting up the rain fly.
Okay, just like that, I am set up. I was not trying to go fast. I was not speedy along. I just kind of did my thing, real relaxing. And the rooftop tent is super easy to set up, and it's a time saver. It's really nice when you get up to a campsite late and you don't want to set up camp. Pop the rooftop tent and you are good. There are definitely disadvantages here. I had to find a very level surface, and unlike a campsite where you can find just for your tent, I got a big area that I have to cover. And if you notice, I had to mess with the ladder to make sure that was level, because that is a big support for this side of the tent. So I'll still have to adjust that a little bit, but I'm good. Okay, to show you what the inside of the tent looks like. This is the best sleeping I've ever done while camping. Super nice in here. Lots of ventilation. Those all open up for just screens or to like see the stars. But this is the kicker. It's like a 2-inch or 2.5-inch mattress pad that totally changes things. So this is my favorite way. This is my favorite way to camp. You wake up in the morning, you come down the ladder, and all you have to do is get your stuff ready to make some breakfast. You're good to go. So when we talk about the cons, the bad things about the rooftop tent, first off, if you guys notice the flat area I had to park it on, with that, the ladder, dealing with all that, these are expensive. These are very expensive. I did not get this new. If I was to get this new, they are somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 for this version. They go up and up and up. There are some cheaper ones as well. I did not pay full price for this, but they are very expensive. Now, the thing behind that is, I know people that will go and stay in an Airbnb for a few nights. Okay, that's the cost. So if you, I didn't stay in an Airbnb for a few nights, and I covered the cost of the rooftop tent, and now I have it forever. So that's awesome. But then in the middle of the night, if you have to get down, you are on top of your car. So you have to get down the ladder if you have to use the restroom or anything else. If you have kids like I do, and they are asleep, I have to carry them up the ladder and put them in there. But lots of positive things. It's warmer up there. You don't have the cold ground coming up underneath you. So it's super nice. Next thing I'm gonna set up is a 6-person tent. The important thing to notice when we're talking about how many people fit in a tent, we're talking about how many sleeping bags. So these can be crisscrossed any which way. So our 6-person tent, we've slept 2 people in with cots and then just filled it up. Or we've fit 6 people in it by moving around sleeping bags. So be aware that the sizing on tents is gonna be how many sleeping bags can fit in there. So before I get started, I have my tent poles. I have my actual tent, my rain fly, my stakes are in there, and I got myself my rubber mallet. First thing I want to do is find a flattish area. So this is my flattish area where I'm gonna set up the tent.
The first thing I'm going to do with the ground tent is spread it out and then get my poles ready. I connect the poles and then I set them up to find out where they're going to go, and then I start connecting them to the tent. I go to one side and then the other, and then I go to the middle section of the tent, and then I'm going to go ahead and put them in the holes so I can raise the tent by myself.
So I have my tent set up. I'm pretty happy with that. I That's the first time I've ever put it up by myself. But the rain fly is going to be important. The rain fly, not only is it going to keep the rain out, but it's going to add more insulation. The dew that's going on right now, and keep that out from going inside the tent. So let's go ahead and put the rain fly out.
Setting up the rain fly with 2 people would have been a lot easier, but notice that I don't even set up guy lines and stakes with this, and it still takes some time.
And so you guys can see what a 6-person tent looks like on the inside. There's no mattress pad in here. You gotta bring your own. I am not walking around here because you never want to walk around with your shoes inside your tent. There's a divider here to give you an idea how big the tent is for a 6-person tent. Okay, even if you know how to set up tents, it is a great idea to set up your own tent before you go on your trip. This tent, my dad and I bought, I don't know, 5 or 10 years ago, sometime. And we were like, oh my God, this is the easiest tent we've ever set up. This is the easiest thing. So we saw YouTube instructions on it. We're like, oh my God, that's simple. We're just going out to Colorado, we'll do it there. Then we got out there and it was dusk and it was becoming dark. And this ended up becoming a pain to set up because we hadn't set it up before, so we just weren't used to it. Set up your tent before your trip, not only to get used to it, to make sure there are no holes in it, to make sure there's nothing you need to repair before your trip. I have also been on a trip in which rain was coming through the tent, landing directly on my pillow, getting me very cold throughout the night, and that ruined the whole trip.